Hello all, GC13 here. Welcome to video number 3 of our Prison Architect Alpha 14 tutorial. Also, we would lay down a new cell block here, so let me just get a measurement. And 31 by 12. Oh good, I'm not going to have to knock down any walls to get this up. That's good. And we will just pop those in what looks like the center and let our workmen do their thing. If you were curious about the valuation, by the way, I was looking into it and it seems complicated. Large jail doors, it looks like only count for half, but regular sized jail doors count for full. Bricks and mortar seems to count for full though, so. You know, for the most part, most of what you're spending gets to stay. I haven't tried it with everything, but it's complicated. Okay, let's do some planning. Yep, I can definitely see that from how low my bank balance is going from putting in these last 8 cells that I definitely want my workshop up as soon as I'm done with these cells. I might even close my prison off. I'll have 24 prisoners, which will be enough to staff the workshop, so I can just spend a couple days building up the workshop and then fill up the rest of this cell block with the money I get from that. But again, since I'm assuming this is my first prison and therefore I do not have the sale of a previous prison to help me, that means I have to, that workshop's going to be important for me. You can see right now I only have 36 cash coming in, and as the prison gets bigger, your fixed costs are going to not rise as quickly as this. Like, for instance, this staff here, that's $1,000. That's the same no matter what. So if I were to, then again, I also have if we look at my finance tab, I also have a $1,500 federal grant that pays for the staff, but also the workman is another $1,200. So all in all, as prisoners go up, this cash flow will go up more quickly than your prisoner count. Even if it's not nice and neat, it will go a bit quicker. Actually, no. We won't put that in until we have the piping in. Now, just taking a quick look at this cell block here, I see they're not very much of an escape risk, because they have even these people here have a lot of concrete to go through before they reach outside. However, I will only have this one square to be able to check for tunnels with, so I might want to think about, if I have spare time one night, taking this fence out and moving it this way. It'll need to get moved eventually. Just doing it more quickly will make me a little bit more secure with regard to tunnels. And like I said, the tunnels are not nearly the threat they were in Alpha 13, and they're not going to be that big a threat in this prison as long as we just make sure we keep it running nice and smooth. But it is better to be safe than to be sorry. I'm sorry, I was just playing with the green block that happens sometimes when you cancel a bit of planning. It can look like quite the mess, and it is just a touch annoying to deal with. But you see, it's still there even after There we go. I wish I knew what caused that, so I could deal with it more readily. But it's not a big deal. It's just something I deal with a little bit. You know what? We have 2 families waiting to visit, so we should just toss up a visitors center. We'll put in 2 tables. And Visitation will just help us a little bit with our prisoners' family needs. It'll zero it out just as soon as... And it's pretty cheap. We already had the room up, so it's not like it's costing us anything. And let's see how we're looking. We've got everything in, and we have more than $9,000 left over. And, better yet, we still have a positive cash flow. So, yeah, that's... Once we'll build our workshop tonight. Go ahead and build our infirmary while we're thinking about it. And we'll just hire the doctors when we decide that we need the money. Let's see, medical bed. And we'll knock this fence out and take it south. Or we won't knock all of it out, we'll just knock enough of it out to put in a workshop. Now I want to talk about this common room just briefly. Some people say that their prisoners refuse to use the common room. It looks like, just judging from how low their needs are, that our prisoners are using our common room. But you just have to be aware that your common room might not work for you. Just like your cooks may not cook efficiently. Like you see, they're clearly stacking some trays here. They were in stacks of 2. But other people have said that since Alpha 14, their cooks will not stack trays at all. They'll just take them back one at a time. So you just have to keep an eye out on that. And if that bug is affecting you, you're just going to have to use more cooks. It does not look like that is happening to me. So I'll be using my typical 16 prisoners per cook. And I will go ahead and run some power over to the infirmary and think about where exactly I want this. I want it to be 12 by 20 floor space, so I want it to be 14 by 22 on the perimeter. And you'll see that gives me right there 12 by 20 floor space, because the workshop will go for 12 square meters for every prisoner you can assign to it. And we'll just say these entire wall areas are taken up by tables wherever they go. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you see I have this extra square here, so I thought I would have to do this. We'll just go ahead and take the wall in one, and we'll take this down a bit. And we'll just do a quick dimension check. That'll give us 23 by 11, which will be at least 240 square meters. It maxes out at 240. There's no use in going above that unless, like me, you're just going for some perfect dimensions. And we will get our workmen right to work on that. I'm going to go ahead and knock down that fencing right there, because it'll not put this wall in if that fence is still there when this pops in. And then we'll just expand the fence so it goes around. Actually, probably what I'll just do is I'll take it down just a little bit, rather than spend the time to take it all the way down. And let's see. I just have to plan who gets the door. So that's perfect. We'll just have 4 here, and 4 here, and a jail door here. Which means we're just going to... Actually, we'll just put in a regular door. Why spend on the jail door? And if I decide I want to get really tricky, I could put in some, put in a little airlock here with the metal detectors. Because I always say I want to put them in, but I never quite get around to putting the metal detectors in, and I mean to, it's just that the contraband is never too much of an issue in my prisons, so I'm not very scared of them having any. But let's put in some tables here so that they can have some convenient places to lay down the sheet metal and the finished license plates. And I'm sorry, but I can never really navigate the menu here. And we'll just put in saw, press, and I have decided, that's just perfect. We will run our workshop using a single column of cables here. I could be really cheap and run it over here, and then I wouldn't have to spend the $10 for the cables to the right of the presses, because as you can see, when they come in with cables to the right, so I just power it by touching it here. It receives power, and then we'll transmit it over to the press. Now that takes up almost all of my money, and 2 saws and 2 presses isn't really going to get me very far. It might manage to take that down, but I tried to install it across, so I could take the fence out, or I could just do this. So I'm going to go ahead and take the infirmary grant now. And we'll just finish this off very, very quickly by hiring 2 doctors. Oh, see, we have brand new doctors. Isn't that snazzy? And see, we got the 10,000 initial and then the 10,000 for completing it right then and there. And we will go ahead and use that money to put in and I'm not going to run power to these just yet because I have to install a couple more capacitors. Well, actually I could run power to them before installing the capacitors, and then I could show you how to, let's do that. I will show you how to recover from a power outage. Because although it is covered in the tutorial, it's only so good. No, I don't need these guidelines anymore. The tutorial is only so helpful. And so... Okay, seriously? Okay, I'll live with that. Let's see here. So now I'm just waiting on it to bring the cable down. You know what, we'll send... I haven't put in the doors that will make this a zone yet, but I can approximate it with a guard patrol. So we'll send some guards to just keep an eye on shower time. Because danger level's low, but it is increasing. Having the guards around during shower time will just keep things a little bit calmer. The prisoners, as long as they're near guards, will be less likely to start fighting with each other. And there goes the power, because they finally plugged this in. So, you see I'm drawing way too much energy. I have to put in more capacitors, otherwise as soon as I power everything on, it'll just go right back off. But let's look at the power station. It has just one green bar. That's because when the power goes off, each capacitor goes off as well. So we have to go to each in turn and switch them on. And just as soon as... Probably only one of those capacitors would do the trick, but once we have that taken care of, we'll be able to switch the power station on and turn the lights on everywhere. And since I do not need this patrol anymore, I'll just remove that. Those capacitors are on by default, so all I have to do is switch the power station on, and we have electricity. Again. Unpausing helps. And there we go. Power for the masses. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. And we will go to... Let's get some people assigned to the workshop before we get our people in. I want the new guys to stay on free time, but I want the workshop to be manned. So we'll mark it as a workshop. Unpause so it realizes it's room now, and go to jobs, and assign 10 people because I think that's how many machines. Yep, I put 10 machines there, so we'll put 10 people in there. And let's make sure we don't have too many people up here. I just should have 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That should be 16. It's hard to tell with the icons covering each other up, but ooh, 19 prisoners tomorrow. Now I feel very, very good about ignoring them. We're going to go up here. Close our prison off. There we go. Oh, I think I closed them off too soon, so I got 4 normal guys too. Oh well. I forgot that the sheet metal would only be coming in on that. So we're technically not just maximum security right now. We got a little bit of a break on these guys, but that's okay. That guy won't be with us very long, and this guy will be with us for a bit. And yeah, I'm gonna be rid of 3 of them soon enough. I think we're stuck with that 4th guy for a while though. That's okay. Maybe he'll be really bad, and we'll mark him as maximum security too. But yeah, 19 prisoners, definitely, probably a bit too much. Yeah, I don't think I have enough money for that. So we'll just focus on expanding the workshop right now. I can pretty much fill it up with what we have right now, the prisoners we have. Canine smells something on him, so he triggered a search. And he did in fact have cigarettes, which is smelly contraband. He is not off to a good start. Let's go to... Okay, we got everything researched, except for the stuff that doesn't do anything. I could research land expansion, but I don't need it. Clone is somewhat helpful, but I never use it, even when I research it. And lawyer, unfortunately, still doesn't do anything, so there's no real point in researching it. I want to have a look at the food. I only see a stack of 20 up here, but we did get another stack of 2. That's only enough to feed 11 prisoners, so we might be getting bitten by that cook bug. We'll have to people. We'll have to keep a close eye on that, because if we can only make enough food for 11 prisoners because we only have 1 cooker. Silly us. That is purely an oversight on my part. So we'll just get that taken care of right now. Oops. We will install the cooker. And there we go. Play with the planning a lot. There we go. So now it looks like we'll be fine for that. Just gotta make sure the power stays on the cookers, and we should be fine. We look at our needs report. Food is fine. We have another meal coming up in not too long. Let's find our guy waiting solitary, because they can use ordinary prison cells as solitary confinement. But I think I'm going to go ahead and make another cell over here, and we'll just stock it a little bit early, and we'll call it solitary. Because it doesn't have to have a solitary door. You can have just an ordinary jail cell be solitary. So we'll get him serving his solitary sentence really quickly. So he can get back out in the prison and take care of those family needs and such. However, I'm going to go to the policy report, and I'm going to... This doesn't need to be solitary. I do want to be pretty harsh on finding weapons, but most of this other stuff just needs to be solitary sentences. Or lockdown sentences. We don't need solitary for most of this. And as soon as I get this marked, I think this is a good spot to end the episode. And he will get taken to his solitary cell. Just as soon as the guard gets assigned to it. There we go. And now his sentence is counting down. He's already pretty suppressed because he was forced to wait in his cell for a while. As you can see, he really needs a shower, so as soon as he gets out, I hope he has free time to do that. And really high freedom needs. That should go down over the course of his stay in the prison. That's no problem. But we got power here. We got prisoners productively producing plates. I think we're in a good spot. Gonna spend a little bit more of this money expanding this workshop later, so we can put more of those other 8 guys to work here as well. But that money should start rolling in, and we'll be able to just keep putting cell blocks out west, and probably turn them on their side, or maybe we'll just put them down here too. Gotta use this land for something. And maybe, just maybe, I will put in some metal detectors right here. Maybe. No promises, but it is a possibility. I would like the workmen to get around to installing that electrical cable, though. But minor quibbles. They'll cook on it, or they should cook on it even without the power. They appear to actually not want to use the cookers. Interesting. I'll use industrial equipment without power. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer, let them finish with the plates, and see if they actually get around to this, or if this is going to be something I have to toy with. Because it's not the bug I'm used to, where it says that it's blocked, and you just have to lay down a fake job for the, let's see. Because with that, oh, it does think I have spare cable, so I'm just going to lay down a fake job. And once it starts the fake job, cancel the fake job, once I cancel the fake job, they'll get to the real job. If I had known about that, I would have put down the fake job in advance, but you can do it the other way as well. You just have to cancel the fake job then. So, problem solved. Now they can cook on 2 cookers, and we should have a full meal at the next mealtime. Crossing our fingers, we'll see next time. Until then, I've been GC13. Happy building!